Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning and welcome. It's Nurse Richard the Wax Wizard. Thank you for joining me. There's a few ears in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be precise. Spoiling you again. First one, really interesting in both ears, something different. Now I took this wax out this lady here, very retracted eardrum there and a little area to the top right that I don't really like the look of, to be honest. I'm not quite sure what is going on there, so I've referred that lady to ENT. What it is, I'm not entirely sure whether there's something growing there or a little hematoma, or which is just a collection of blood. Not entirely sure, but it didn't look good. And the second one, now this lady, she'd had hearing problems since she was a child really, and she was a good age. I think she was in her 70s, possibly 80s. And she's known to ENT in the past for various issues on and off. So whether this is something that they already know about, possibly. But in her other ear, I did ask her if she'd ever had any issues in this one. And she said other than not being able to hear very well, not really, or she'd never been told. And what she's got in here is a false fundus. That's not the eardrum there that you're looking at. See a little suspicious area to the bottom of that as well. Not entirely sure what is going on there as well. So that's not the eardrum. It's like you're not usually born with this. It's like a fake eardrum, a second eardrum. It's like a fibrous tissue that's usually produced in response to some issues, infections, trauma, and it's grown this layer of fibrous tissue in front of the eardrum. You can still hear okay through it, not fabulously, but she can still hear okay. So hopefully we'll get those looked into anyway. If they don't already know about them, they don't usually do anything about these false fundus. But I certainly wanted to make them aware of it anyway, but we certainly need that first ear looking into anyway, because that didn't look great anyway. This second one, this chap actually came to see me and he said he could hear okay through this ear. I have no idea how, remarkably, but it was, after I got this little annoying little flap out the way, it was kind of quite loose in the ear canal, so there was possibly still a bit of room for sound to get around the outside of this. There's the other one that was causing him a bigger problem. I think that's in another video at some point, and that's a fair bit full of that, and that was the one that was really having trouble with. It might have been in the previous video actually, or if not then one to come, I don't know. I just see a load of ears on my laptop. Sometimes I can't remember what's come from who or what the story is behind it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of procedures that we do. So this is the bit that's slightly looser in the ear canal. So you can see there's plenty of wiggle room there, but have a look at the size of it when it comes out. It's a fairly substantial chunk. There you go. So it's like this little long tube, isn't it? But it's not like adhered to the canal wall, so there was still a little gap around the outside of that, so he could hear okay. He said he could hear a bit better afterwards though anyway. It's all relative, isn't it? When we did his bad ear, which wasn't that one, that then turned into his good ear, and then his good ear then turned into his bad ear. So I said it's all relative, which one's your good one, which one's not, you know. I always start with the one that's given them the most problems first, just in case they decide they don't want to get the other one done. Next one here, it was a fairly straightforward one, 2 ears, same patient. I think I've seen him a couple of times now. Was giving me a bit of difficulty because it wasn't the most ideal shaped ear canal, this an entrance, so difficult to get into, and I had to have the endoscope at some odd angles, because despite me asking him, you know, can you move that way, can you keep still, he kind of kept moving his head ever so slightly, which a lot of patients do in a response to the noise, which it's rare it's uncomfortable for anybody. Yes, it does make noises, as you know, because I leave the sounds in. It's very rare that anybody finds them particularly uncomfortable, and no one's ever asked me to stop because of the noise, but it's a natural response to move away from noise, and he kept doing that. So I kind of had to keep the endoscope at a bit more of a distance than I would ordinarily like to. So it's just hovering around the outer part of the ear there where you can see the hairs. because the last thing you want is to be in the ear with the endoscope with 2 sharp implements. I've already got 1 in there. If you've got 2 in there and he decides to move the wrong way, i.e. towards you and not away from you, then that would not be good. So like I said, try and keep me distance a little bit on this one, probably more so on the other ear than on this one. You can just see how narrow that is, can't you? And that suction tube there that you can see, that's the full size tube, but it's only a couple of millimeters. It's really tiny. You know, to appreciate how small these things are, what you're seeing is a massively blown up and magnified picture of the procedure, but in reality, these things are tiny. If you want to know just how small, I did do a video, I think it's on the called Behind the Lens. I'll maybe put a link to it at the end of this video so you can see. And that shows all the machines that we use inside the clinic room. There's the eardrum after that. And it shows the real size of all the tools. You know, that's including the forceps, the chops and horns, and the suction tubes and the fine end tubes. You can see them all laid out, and I think I put my hand next to it for some perspective. So go and watch that. It actually shows, I think, how we make these videos as well. I don't know who the we is. It's a royal we. It's me. So it's been a long week. It's Friday today. Thank Crunchy. And Crunchy, it's Friday. Anyone who lives in the UK of a certain age will know what I mean by that. But anyone else, oh, the foggiest what it's about. Was he on about thank Crunchy, it's Friday? I think it was some advert for a chocolate bar that used the Monday's Charlie's full of, what is it now? I'm trying to remember. He's full of, he's fair of face. Tuesday's Charlie's full of grace. I was born on a Tuesday. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe, I want to say. And Friday's child is, no, Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. But the child that's born on a Sabbath day is Bonnie and Blythe. Sorry, I did write these down, I can't read it now. Bonnie and Blythe, good and gay, apparently. But yeah, I'm full of grace. But yeah, thank Crunchy, it's Friday. I'm distracting myself again. It's been a fair old week, trying to catch up with everything that's been waiting for me after a few days away. So this is where I'm probably a bit further away. That's why it's maybe slightly out of focus. I could have readjusted the focus, but I could see well enough. Where I'm a bit further away than I would ordinarily like, because like I said, he was like travelling around the chair a fair bit. But I could still see well enough. Yeah, it'd be nice to get these great magnified clear shots for all you lot, but I don't make these for you lot, believe it or not. It's a medical procedure. You know, I had to get a bit closer to this because it's a little deeper in the ear. He was certainly happy when this one came out. I think you might hear in the audio, I was maybe in the one before, where he said, "Oh, I can feel that." He said, when I said I could feel it, it doesn't mean it was painful or it was uncomfortable. He said he just felt it sliding out and kind of felt his ear open up. It was a big relief, that one. A little bit tidying up around the edges here. Not terribly important to get all of this. I just thought I'd get that one bit there. The rest of it, you do need a little bit around there. Some of those are natural oils that help to protect your ear. So it'll be the wrong thing to do to scrape all that away. And there's his eardrum at the end of that one. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. More interesting ones to come. I've got a lot saved up. But for now, take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.